Hello. So, yeah, I'm making another one of these. And that's because there's a few important things that I should probably talk about. First, of course, probably for you, at least the elephant in the room, new green screen. This one does not have a massive glare in the dead center of it, which is probably going to make chroma keying a lot easier. Now, for those wondering what I did with the old green screen, nothing. Literally nothing. It's still here. It's just under this. Now, as some of you may know, because I actually talk about it quite often, my old green screen was wrapping paper. So you're probably thinking, Formula, did you finally get a green screen that's not just wrapping paper? And the answer is yes. Now it's a disposable tablecloth. In part because I can't afford a real green screen, not to mention it'd probably be too big, because, you know, this is the wall that I'm working with. But also in part just to stay true to the whole no-budget gimmick of most of my videos. Now, for those of you who think that I've forgotten about the new series, I haven't, although I haven't really been able to work on it for a while, and that's because the next thing I'm going to get to, which is the elephant in the room for me, because you guys probably won't notice it, and that is that this is laptop number 3. For those of you who don't know what happened and what happened to laptop number 1. Laptop number 1 is what I made seasons 1 and 2 of Infinity Bit on in most of season 3, and then it just randomly got a white screen of death, and I was lucky that I was able to recover the files and put them all onto a hard drive and get at least most of the files back. Some of them I couldn't get back. But I was able to do that. That was all good and well. I got a new laptop, a much worse laptop, but it still worked for what I was using it for. It was more so just physically that it had a lot of issues, like it was pretty small, like just a little bit bigger than a Chromebook even. And if you've ever used a Chromebook, you know how annoying that is. It only had 2 USB ports, which unfortunately is becoming more and more common with laptops. And it had just like it didn't have any DVD drive, and it was also pretty slow. But aside from that, it was, I mean, it's not like I expected high class or anything. I live in an apartment, and I don't have any brothers or sisters. It's just me and my dad. I don't expect, like, really high budget presents or anything. But I got that for, I think, Christmas. Yeah, it was Christmas. I got that for Christmas, and I used that one for a little while to finish off season 3 and to do some other stuff. And then laptop number 2 decided that it didn't like me either anymore, although it took it much quicker, because I used laptop number 1 for at least a year and a half or something like that. Then laptop number 2, after like a few months, decided to crap. Specifically the NIC card. Now, for those of you who are like me and hear that and are like, what the hell is a NIC card? The NIC card is basically the wireless internet adapter in a laptop. So, the thing that connects to Wi-Fi without having to plug in an Ethernet cable. Basically, that's the NIC card. And mine crapped out, which meant that the internet would last longer depending on how long the computer was shut off first, which is probably why for the first month or so of having it, there was no real problem. And then what'll happen is, pretty much completely randomly, the computer will disconnect from Wi-Fi, and then completely disacknowledge that Wi-Fi is a thing that exists. And where you'd usually go to connect to Wi-Fi, it just gives you, like, network options for, like, Ethernet and stuff. And everything, pretty much everything on the computer, in the settings and the bar, everything that would even have any mention of Wi-Fi just pretty much goes away. And the only way to fix it, to get the Wi-Fi to work again, is to turn the entire machine off and then on again. Which I'm sure you can imagine, even if you haven't ever done anything like editing videos or doing things that take a while, how incredibly tedious and annoying that can get. And if you're someone who does edit videos and write scripts and other stuff like that, I'm sure you can also imagine just how god-awful an experience that would be. Now, for those of you wondering why the camera looks the same, and that's why I said it's probably not the elephant in the room for you, that's because this camera is the same one from laptop number 2, because laptop number 2's camera was shite. And this one isn't as bad, But basically what I did for laptop number 2, because I couldn't film with that camera, it wouldn't chroma key, I could tell, is I bought just like an external wired USB webcam, which also is a lot better because it gives me the freedom to pick it up and move it around and do things like this. Ooh, look. And it gives me a lot more freedom for when I'm filming things and not having to bring the laptop wherever I go if I film, or at least not as much. I won't have to have it right in front of wherever I film, you know? You get the basic idea. And while the webcam that came with this new laptop isn't bad by any stretch of the imaginations, this one is not only better, but it's also, like I just mentioned, a lot more free to move around and stuff, which is going to be helpful. And also, just for consistency reasons, it'll definitely help. Now, for those of you wondering, yes, this does mean pretty much the same thing that happened with my laptop happened with this one, except with this one, it's not like the other one broke or anything. It's not like with laptop number 1 where it just gave me a white screen, because what happened was, since my dad got it off of Best Buy, he ordered it off their website, we went to Best Buy, and they said apparently it's such a common problem with that model of the laptop that they were just willing to basically let us trade out that laptop for a new one, any new one, and most likely just have to pay the difference. And so I got this one, and it works rather well, actually. It works quite well. It works very, very well. I think this probably trumps both of the laptops I had before, at least as far as, you know, running things and stuff. It still doesn't have a disk drive, which kind of sucks, and it only has 3 USB ports, which apparently pretty much all laptops in Best Buy now have only 3 USB ports, which is annoying, but, like, I'll live. And one of the weirdest things, perhaps, about this laptop, that, again, seems to be something that's true with just about every laptop in Best Buy, is that it has a touchscreen, which is a completely new and kind of weird thing to me. Now, I will admit there are a few upsides, like A, it's a lot more convenient if I don't have a mouse on me, and B, emulating Mario Maker with an actual touchscreen is way better than doing it with a mouse. Even though I have to emulate it anymore because I have the 3DS version, but shh. And if it ever gets annoying, which admittedly it does a lot fast, then I'm pretty sure there's a way to just disable it in settings. So it's not really a problem. Or an inconvenience. Well, it can be an inconvenience, but if it becomes too much of an inconvenience, it's very easily fixable. Another reason why it's weird is because now whenever I have a Chromebook at school, I keep trying to touch the screen to like move to a tab or something. And then I get frustrated and start saying profanities. Not really profanities, but just like being, why is it not registering the click? Oh, wait, right. And this has happened probably already countless times, and I haven't even had this laptop for long. Now, to get to what I was saying before, I went way off topic because I seem to be very good at that. Since this time I actually had a warning that it was going to be replaced instead of, you know, random white screen of death, then that meant I also had time to prepare and back up all my files without having to take the laptop apart and pull out the hard drive. So, I still have all my files. Again, some of them can't translate because there are some files that can't be translated from one computer to another. Like, video editor files were lost. Thankfully, I didn't really have any that I was working on, or at least the ones that I did, I can easily start over on. It's inconveniencing, but again, I'll live. And the only important video editing projects that I really had on that laptop was the InfinityBit ones, but InfinityBit is done now, so I don't really have to worry about that. And that's the thing, is for those wondering, well, why can't you just move the .vep video editor project from one computer to another? And if you're asking that, you probably haven't used video editing software before. And the reason for that is because what it does is it looks for all, you know, the image files, the video files, all those different files in all the paths that they would have been on the original computer. So even if you have the same software and you try to open up the project, it's gonna be like, all right, well, this footage was originally in the camera roll folder and the pictures folder, and this image was in the downloads folder, and blah blah blah. And it'll look for those files in those places, and it's not going to find them because they aren't anymore, because it's a new computer. So yeah, which also means that the first episode of this new series that I'm working on was pretty much all filmed, save for the end scene, which we did film it, but we wanted to go back and improve it. And I did have a lot of it edited. However, that means that since I didn't render any of it, I'm probably going to have to start from the beginning, which, as you can imagine, kind of sucks. But I'm going to be working on that. I still have all the footage that me and Colin, he's the fellow that I'm working with. He still hasn't made video appearance on this channel. I need to do that at some point. But he's the other actor in the new series, and he and I still filmed for all that footage, and I still have it on the hard drive that I backed up all the old stuff on, so I still have all the footage to edit with. The main issue is just that I'm going to have to go back and edit it all again, which is kind of tedious. But that's another thing, is that, once again, my video editor software is lost. Now, for those of you who don't know, I use AVS Video Editor. It's a really crap editor, and for those wondering why don't you use a different editor, I'm really weird in the sense that once I learn some kind of language, for lack of a better term, I can't just switch to a new one. Like, for example, if I learned a programming language like Flash, I couldn't just start learning a programming language like Unity. You kind of know what I mean there? Very similar concept. When I learned the language of my video editor that I've been using since I was 7, I can't just switch over to, like, Sony Vegas and know what I'm doing and be comfortable with it, because I'm not. And yes, obviously, I could learn, but it would take so long that it really wouldn't be worth it. Not to mention, as long as I'm very patient and render things separately, my video editor does in fact work, just very badly. I'm sure that you guys have noticed some of the little issues with it, like, sometimes when there's audio that fades out, then, like, at the end, it'll play the last little clip of it really loudly. If you notice that ever in InfinityBit, that's not really within my control, that's a glitch in my editor. Sometimes the lip syncing will go really off. Sometimes, it's just things like that in general. Now, the video editor does, in fact, cost money. The first time when I put it on laptop number 1, I just pirated it. Because A, I didn't want to pay, and B, I had already paid for it before, on the desktop, like just the household desktop that me and my dad used to use before I had my own computer. So we had already bought it at that, at least I thought we had. Apparently my dad just pirated that too. So I figured there was nothing morally wrong with it. Then on laptop number 2, I figured it'd probably be nice to know that I legally own this, so I actually bought a license for it. And I still to this day remember when they sent the little ID so that, if you get a new computer, you won't have to buy it again. I accidentally didn't save it or do anything with it, and then I immediately thought, I really hope that I don't ever need that for anything, and that's not going to affect me severely in the future. I saw it coming from 10 million miles away, and yeah, it happened. At least I learned a lesson. So at the time of this recording, I still do not have my video editor. I downloaded the like trial non-activated version, but today, sometime after 5, I'm gonna buy it. And the reason why I say sometime after 5 is because my dad has to buy it, not because I wouldn't usually buy it, but because they say that they literally don't allow you to buy a license for it unless you're over 18. So my dad has to use his credentials. It won't accept my bank card, which was always kind of funny to me. But in this case, it's also just as well because I don't even think I have the money for it at the moment. But yeah, once I have that, I'm gonna screenshot the little ID number, whatever it is, that lets you, the license key or whatever, so that I have it, so that I can use it, so that this doesn't happen again. Not that I'm necessarily hoping that there's a laptop number 4. Hopefully this one will last me at least a few years. But yeah, this video is mostly just to update about things that have been going on and why why the new series is still being postponed. I'm might say some minor updates on things that I'm doing. Like, obviously, I'm still doing the new series. I'm working on writing it right now because I can't really film it because I have to work off of Cullen's schedule for when he can be here. And also, I don't have my video editor, so it wouldn't matter. I don't know if I said this in a video yet, but I haven't started on it, but I am planning on doing another movie for the channel. I don't want to say at some point this year because I don't know if I'll be able to get it done this year. But if we can get season 1 of the new series finished, then that can start. And finally, now this isn't a promise or anything, this isn't, so please don't be upset if this never happens. At the moment, this is just a possibility that I've been thinking about. But I've been thinking about doing videos that aren't quite in the same style of Infinity Bit and all that recently. Specifically, like, game-related videos. Not like the ones I used to do. Please don't click off. Specifically game reviews. More specifically, game reviews of things on the Switch and the 3DS, because it's took me way too long to mention this on this channel, but I now have a Switch, and... Where is it? I need you guys to see my obsessive stickers, it's worth it. And... my Nintendo 2DS. For those wondering why I got a 2DS instead of a 3DS, it was $77 on eBay. 3DSs are like $100. Guess which one I'm getting. And I also have managed to build up a pretty good physical collection for both. This is my Switch collection. Of course I got Mario Odyssey. It's like, who has a Switch and doesn't have Mario Odyssey? And my DS and 3DS collection. Yeah, there would be another game on top of here, but I got ripped off on eBay, and the case came with a bunch of library stickers on it. I'm still mad about it. I have to print off a new cover for it at the library. Now, I got a Switch in the month of February, and take a good look at my 2DS here and guess, just take a wild guess, why I suddenly had an interest in the Switch. Go ahead, take your time, pause the video if you need to. Just take a wild guess. They announced Mario Maker 2. Yay, they're finally doing it. I can't believe it. It's so great. That's all I care about. But yeah, I got new consoles. I don't have to deal with just the Wii anymore. Not to say that the Wii is a bad console, it's not. It's a fantastic console. In fact, dare I say it's the best console ever created. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do about it? So, again, that's just something I'm thinking about. No promises can be made, nothing of that sort. But it's something I'm thinking about doing, is making review videos. Mostly for Mario Maker. That's pretty much, again, that's all I care about. And in the videos, theoretically, if they ever happen, I would review one Switch game and one 3DS game, usually in a way where they would, like, align with each other, so they're not just random, like for example, this. You know, 3DS game and then the sequel on the Switch, something along those lines. I've positioned these wrong. There we go. Like, for example, Mario Maker for the 3DS and Mario Maker for the Switch. Mario Maker 2 for the Switch, I mean. Although, the only thing that would make it better is, hopefully, one day, maybe, I can get a Wii U. I know that that's probably the last thing you'd think anyone would want. But I would in fact really like to have one. If nothing else, just because there is a decent library of games on there. And a lot of the pairs of games that I would probably do for the 3DS and the Switch could probably have a third thing on the Wii U. That would also make a lot more sense. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm not great at talking right now. So to recap, working on the new series, new green screen without a big dumb glare, and I did try chroma keying it. It chroma keys beautifully. It actually, you know, season 1, episode 5, I think it was, of Infinity Bit, that actually looked somewhat decent as far as chroma keying. That's what this new green screen looks like, and it's great. So, new series, green screen, new laptop, potential new movie, and very, no promises, I guess, potential game reviewing series thing. Yeah! Sorry for once again extending a video that should have been about 6 minutes long to 20 minutes long. Like I said, I'm not very great at talking and keeping it brief, because if there's one thing that runs in my family, it's rambling on and on and on until the person that you're talking to doesn't care anymore, and what the topics was when it started is nothing even close to what it is now. I started talking about green screens, and I ended the video off by showing my video game collection. It's kind of proves the point a little bit. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video wasn't too long and rambly. And those are all things that are in the work right now. The works. Where I can't English. I'm also probably gonna get a haircut soon. No, not that side. All this is probably going. Just is right there. It looks very uneven. Salutations and goodbye.